It happened. South Korea joins the space race. It's certainly in an era of modern technology. Science has been expanding its reach over outer space since time immemorial. Countries like India, the United States of America, Russia, among other such nations, have already entered and are in fact dominating the space race. But did you know that now even South Korea is all set to enter the space race? To know more, make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video. Without any further delay, let's jump right into the heart of this video. South Korea's Ministry of Science and ICT stated at the end of August that the Korea Pathfinder Lunar Orbiter, or the KPLO, the country's first lunar orbiter, will be launched next year. The declaration represents not just a big step forward in South Korea's space program, but also part of a growing level of space collaboration with the United States. The KPLO is the next step in South Korea's space exploration ambitions, and it's being constructed with NASA's assistance. The orbiter will be equipped with 5 sensor payloads, including a NASA-supplied high-precision camera for examining the lunar surface. South Korea is on schedule to launch its first lunar mission in the second half of 2022, with the launch of the lunar orbiter. Since 2016, South Korea has been working on a lunar orbiter mission, despite being a latecomer to the global space race. According to the state-run Korea Aerospace Research Institute, the spacecraft is expected to reach the moon by December 16, 2022, and perform a year-long mission that might be extended. The KPLO will investigate the moon for at least a year after entering a roughly 100-kilometer circular lunar orbit with its 5 scientific equipment. The lunar orbiter will carry out a variety of missions, including using NASA's shadow cam to capture photographs of the moon's dark regions. Due to technical and financial constraints, the country's lunar orbiter project has stalled. The orbiter was originally scheduled to launch in December of this year under the previous administration. When the country chose early this year to scrap its initial flight path in favor of a low-energy trajectory in order to improve the spacecraft's fuel economy, the country's lunar program faced yet another delay. KPLO also features a gamma-ray spectrometer, which will study the moon's highly intense gamma rays. Scientists can establish the elemental makeup of specific moon minerals by comparing the energy levels of these rays to the components that produce them. KPLO, in conjunction with the polarimetric camera, will improve our understanding of the moon's mineral composition and how its topography has changed over 4 billion years. The KPLO high-precision camera will collect data on the lunar surface to aid NASA's Artemis mission, which aims to return humans to the moon's surface and establish a long-term human colony by the end of the decade. While the KPLO's research will aid the Artemis mission, it's unclear what role South Korea will play in the mission to ultimately return humans to the moon. By 2030, South Korea hopes to follow up on the lunar orbiter with a mission to land an unmanned lander on the moon using a Korean launch vehicle. A magnetometer is the latest of the KPLO's indigenous equipment. While the moon's global magnetic field has vanished, it still contains localized magnetic features, like swirls. KPLO will help us understand the level of protection they provide from hazardous space radiation, as well as the nature of the moon's remnant magnetic zones as signs of its past, by measuring the feeble magnetic fields from orbit. South Korea plans to develop its own satellite navigation system and a 6G communication satellite network, similar to the US GPS system. South Korean officials see new urban air mobility initiatives, such as the one being explored by Hyundai Motors, as well as self-driving cars and drones tapping into the data offered by its new networks as the world becomes more interconnected. A magnetometer is the most recent piece of KPLO's in-house technology. While the moon's global magnetic field has dissipated, localized magnetic characteristics, such as swirls, still exist. By monitoring the moon's feeble magnetic fields from orbit, KPLO will help us understand the level of protection they provide from dangerous space radiation, as well as the nature of the moon's remaining magnetic zones as evidence of its past. It's been decades since the US and the Soviet Union raced to put a man on the moon, but when the KPLO launches next year, South Korea will join a select group of countries that have flown orbiters to the moon. While cooperation with the United States has enabled this, South Korea's long-term space goals are more ambitious. They will mark the beginning of a new era where outer space missions can become an aim and be achieved by many such countries. Soon, South Korea will be able to compete with the other tech-powerful nations to make its name even in outer space. This concludes pretty much everything about this new mission undertaken by South Korea with the help of NASA that can do wonders, both in the field of technology or otherwise. What do you think about South Korea entering the space race? Do you think more such countries will follow in the coming years? Let us know all this and more in the comment section below. Now that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have yourself a good day.